All right, everybody. I guess we're doing this thing. Another episode of Still Against All Odds, the podcast. I'm your buddy Harry, alongside Mikey Meatballs, the Parlay Kid, and Brother Bri. What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, Harry?
What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Bri? We'll get to everything we did over the weekend here in terms of sports and sports betting. But again, listen, I wanted to say that I came up with an idea. Guys, for over the weekend that we are going to, in honor of Super Bowl 60, by the time we are done, because we did do 6 prop bets on the last pod and then in terms of the Super Bowl, by the time we're done with this podcast and the one later in the week, we're going to have 60 total prop bets that we've given out for the Super Bowl. We're going to do a bunch here today. So it's going to be a lot of fun. By the way, I'm going to do a speed round. I come up with an idea for a speed round for the next pod where I give out 26 bets. Bri and Darren, you both will get 13 each. You got 2 seconds to decide what you like, and that's it. We're going to just shoot through a bunch of those. So that should be interesting and a lot of fun on the next pod. But we'll get to quarterback props in a second. But first, I don't know, not a lot of action this weekend in sports and sports betting. I know, Bri, last pod you mentioned you were going to fire away a little bit at the tennis at the Australian Open. There was a pretty good card on UFC on Saturday night. How'd you wind up?
I blame you, Harry. I lost lost money the other night.
I brought up the tennis.
Well, you brought up the tennis, which then got me like, all right, I'm going to put a little bit of extra money on it. I put money on Sinner. I had a parlay going. Sinner, Alcaraz, Sabalenka for that semifinal I had on that. But then I also put Sinner to win. You were telling me how exhausted and lucky Joker was to win that prior match. So no, but I was shocked that Sinner, I mean, that was going on at like 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. in the morning. I was shocked that I saw just a little bit, and then I was like, I can't watch too much of this, and I was shocked that Sinner actually lost to Joker. So, but yeah, so I ended up getting killed in that. Yeah,
I've been sleeping terrible. I've been sleeping absolutely terrible. So I was up actually watching it. It was pretty crazy to see, knowing that, and you mentioned it too, and I couldn't agree with you more on the last pod, that, that's the surface that Sinner loves. That's where he excels at. And he made a lot of unforced errors into the net where he didn't need to. So that was something else. But and then again, just, even for Joker to take a set from Alcaraz was something else, because you just didn't expect that he'd have anything in the tank. He wins the first and loses 3 right after that, but still a great performance out of him, out of 38 years old. But Alcaraz just too dominant, too awesome. And D, I know that I thought you told me you did okay in the UFC.
Yeah, Harry, another pretty good weekend in the UFC. Had a little parlay between Volkanovski and BSD. Happened to hit on that parlay, pretty much an even money line parlay there. So I'll take it. A couple back-to-back weeks with the UFC. Trying to go on a UFC run here. Card was certainly not an overwhelming card by any stretch of the imagination. So we got some good fights coming up in February.
Okay, cool. Well, listen, I even on BigAl.com, it's still been pretty hot there. I did give over 4.5 in the Volkanovski fight, over 4.5 rounds. Of course, I didn't watch it. So I'm checking on my phone. It's as long as I see the clock ticking away on my phone, I know the fight's still going on. So I'll win regardless.
You will never pay for Paramount Plus. Is that true? You never will.
I might. There's some things on there that I've noticed along the way, but it's not always on Paramount Plus. Is it?
Well, no. Well, some will be on CBS, but the majority is going to be on Paramount Plus. In time, if I don't have to, if you don't have to pay for
maybe
it,
I will. I don't know. We'll see. But let's get. Hey, who knows? Let's see. Let's get to the Super Bowl. By the way, nothing's really changed lines wise. Seattle 4.5. There's been maybe 1 or 2 different books are at 5, I guess. Still a little concerned about May's shoulder. Who knows what's up with that? Keeping that pretty hush-hush. Over-under still at 45.5. And we are going to go with some quarterback props here. We're going to start it off. We're going to do 3 each. Let's start it off. D, let's start with you. What do you like right off the bat, quarterback?
You asked us for quarterback props. I think we've picked every quarterback prop imaginable now. Like,
I know.
we got 9 of them coming up here. So we had to really dip in, especially because you took the first 3 and now Brian and I are left with the scraps. So I had to kind of really dig deep here to find some. So I think I found a pretty good one. Found one that is May and Darnold, 15 plus passing yards in each quarter with the plus number attached to it at plus 110. Now I get it. Like, it seems like it's easy, right? This one, technically, if you are not a gambler, you would say, well, geez, this has got to hit, because if these quarterbacks are throwing for an average of 240 yards per game, well, how could they not get 15 yards in a quarter? Well, we've seen that happen. All it would take is for maybe a 3 and out, and then maybe a 8-minute drive another way, and then the other quarterback goes 3 and out again, and I don't get that 15 yards. But I do like this one because I do like that low total, 15. 1 drive each, probably a quarter, maybe hopefully 2 each in each quarter. And I think we'll get there, Harry. But it's a fun one to root for. It's a little different, a little fun, a little Super Bowl prop one for you.
You gotta, on that one too, Darren, you gotta get a little lucky in terms of time of possession.
Well, right.
When it's at, because if somehow one team goes on a 7.5 minute drive, who knows?
Of course. I mean, it could be sunk for, but
and you go 3 and out.
Like I said, you start the game 3 and out. Another team goes on an 8-minute possession, but we'll see how that plays out, because my guess is, Harry, this will come close to hitting. At least I feel like at the end of the game, second quarter, fourth quarter, I think this is likely to hit. I worry most about quarter one. If I can get by quarter one with that bet, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, that's definitely a fun one. And like you said, you get that at around plus 110. Now, Bri, I'm going to go to you for 2 because you got 2 May ones here. Why don't you hit us with both those?
All right. Yeah, you, like Dan was saying earlier, you left us with the scraps. But yeah, I'll take May. The first one, I'll take May over 19.5 completions. You know, I just feel like this is a game I don't know how much they'll be down, but I feel like they're going to be down and kind of chasing for a lot of this game. So I think May's going to, I know Vrabel's probably, if he could limit how much May has to throw in this game, I mean, it'll be good for him. But I think May's going to have to throw more than he has so far in the postseason. So I'm going to go over 19 completions for my first play. Then the second play, it's funny that I'm going over 19.5 completions, but and they kind of somewhat go hand in hand, but I'm going to take the under 30 and 33.5 longest completion. I will say, like, the Rams seem to be the one team against the Seahawks, right? They had the Seahawks defense number, right? They put up a lot of big plays. But this Seahawks team typically doesn't give up a lot of big plays. They force the quarterbacks to throw underneath a lot. And that's kind of why I'm going with the over 19.5 completions. I think they're going to make May throw a lot of 5-10 yards, not give up anything big to them, make him throw underneath, whether he's going to be dropping it off to Stevenson. So a lot of short completions. So I'm going to take the under 33.5 longest completion.
Okay, I'm gonna add one. I have one for May as well. I'm just gonna go very easy, very simple. At minus 138, that he throws an interception. He threw one against the Chargers, threw one against Houston in bad weather. He's thrown at least one in 2 of his last 3 games versus NFC teams. And I think in a situation like this, Seattle's defense has been tremendous. The 2 games against San Francisco, they were really good, and still a lot of throws that Stafford made that could have been picked as well. I just don't know. I just don't love the way the Patriots offense has played in these 3 playoff games. They haven't been that impressive. Again, 16 points against the Chargers. They were gifted basically 2 touchdowns against Houston. So if you take away those 2 touchdowns, they only have 14 points. So a lot of pressure coming on May. He's been hit a lot of sacks against him so far in these 3 games too. So I'm going to go at least 1 interception for May against that Seattle defense. D, now I'll go to you for what you got in terms of, I'll let you go for 2 because you got 2 Darnold ones.
2 Darnold. You're staying away from the Darnold interception. You're all on the Darnold train now, trying to redeem yourself for years and years of bashing the poor guy.
About it.
So this won't make up for it, really. But we'll give you your time. So Harry, going to take Darnold to throw an interception at -128. Harry, that's just playing the law of averages here. Darnold, who probably averages close to a pick, at least this year, through 14 of them, but has gone 3 straight games without throwing an interception. Now you're playing a Patriots defense, which has 5 interceptions in the postseason. I'm rolling the dice here on Darnold throwing 1. Patriots will bring some pressure. They play some different pass coverages. They'll fool Darnold maybe once and even twice here in this game and coerce him into throwing 1. So take Darnold at -128 for that pick.
Okay, and then you got another Darnold one, but this time with his legs a little bit.
With his legs, and let's face it, I'm going to take Darnold over 2.5 rushing attempts. Harry, he has not really used his legs as much as he has throughout his career. However, rushed the ball 3 times against the Rams last week, albeit not too successfully. But if you look at this, he's gone over 2.5 carries in 5 out of his last 6 games. Darnold gets his look. The Patriots are going to put some pressure on him. He's going to have to get out of the pocket, and he's going to be forced to run in this game. And this is a game where you do what you have to do. You don't worry about injury, right? You put it all on the line. So I'm thinking Darnold here will take a few more chances with the legs in the Super Bowl.
And Bri, you got one.
Yeah, look, you got to get a little lucky with these, I think. But the Darnold over 7.5 for his first completion. At times Darnold, may dump it off to Walker. But Darnold, I will say, likes to drive the ball downfield, right? He likes to make some bigger throws in this offense. So I feel like, this seems to be like a 10, 15-yard pass to JSN to start the game, get Darnold a little comfortable. So I'll take the over 7.5 first completion.
Okay. And I'll close things out quarterback-wise here with 2 Darnold ones. I'm going to start with him to, look, I'm going to go over 1.5 touchdown passes at -114. He had 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 versus the Rams. He had 2 or more in 3 of his last 3 out of his 5 games versus AFC teams this year. Again, he's rolling 4 touchdowns in the playoffs. No interception so far. I know what you just said, Darren. Law of average would make him maybe throw a bad one here. He's had a couple chances at picks and hadn't gone, but I just think he's just throwing the ball magnificently all over the place. He's been tremendous. So I'm going to go over 1.5 touchdown passes, and I'm going to go Darnold longest completion of the game over 35.5 yards at -112. Look. He's throwing more, Darren. He's throwing more darts than an English pub. He really is. He really is. Everything he throws is just on the money. He had a 51-yard bomb to the Rams. And against AFC teams this year, he had a 43-yarder against Pittsburgh, 61 versus Jacksonville, 63 versus Tennessee, 39 versus Indy. And the one team that he didn't get to that number of 30, needing to get to 36. He had a 32-yard pass against Houston. Call it whatever you want. Maybe that's just luck, whatever, but he's had some very good success against AFC teams. And I know what we've seen out of New England and their defense in the postseason. It's been very good. It's been very impressive, especially the pass rush. But that is against AFC teams that just haven't been to where they weren't 100% all the way around, all 3 teams. So give me Darnold over 35.5 longest completion. Like you said, it's the main. This is it. So you just let everything fly, and he's going to let it fly, and he's going to find JSN or somebody for at least a 36-yard reception. We are just ripping through these prop bets for the Super Bowl. We're going to switch things up a little bit. We just did passing and quarterback. We are now going to hit the defense. We're going to hit defense, special teams, whichever one we like out of this, we're going to throw out there to you. And Brian, I'm going to start with you. What do you got? What's your best?
Yeah, I'm going to take Caleb on Chason for the Pats to record a sack at plus 185. Chason has 3 sacks so far in the playoffs, 4 in his last 4 games. He kind of started the year hot with a bunch of sacks, and then he went on a little cold stretch, but then he's ended the year hot. So I did think the Rams got some good pressure on Darnold in that NFC Championship, even though he was able to avoid some of it. But I just think the plus 185 is good value for Chason the way he's playing right now.
Yeah, that's a solid price at 185. I like that. D, you got a sack one as well.
Yeah, let's take my man, Mr. DeMarcus Lawrence over Mr. D-Law here for the Seattle Seahawks, former Cowboys superstar. Harry, he wasn't really so dynamic at getting to the quarterback during the regular season, 6 sacks during the regular season, but so far in his last 3 games, he's totaled a sack in each of those, 1 in each of his first 2 playoff games here. He's getting a little long in the tooth, 33 years of age. This might be his one chance. And let's face it, teams have been bringing a lot of pressure to May here from the opponents all throughout the playoffs. The Patriots have had a hard time keeping him upright. I think Lawrence gets the job done here at plus 128. And I'm rooting for my boy here too.
Okay. I'm gonna go Patriots safety Craig Woodson. 6 or more tackles, assists combined at minus 110. Look, guys, he's leading the Pats in the playoffs with 20, 4 ahead of Christian Ellis. It's 4th in the Pats in the regular season overall, and he led the secondary during the regular season in tackles as well. So again, I think if I'm correct, and I think Sammy D is gunslinging it all over the place, it's going to be a lot of tackles for the secondary, more than the linebackers and the guys up. So I'm going to take Craig Woodson, 6 or more tackles at minus 110.
Well,
now we're going to.
If I could say, let me interrupt you. I want to give you a little.
What do you got?
Praise here for you. I don't usually do this, but I think almost every Super Bowl you hit that tackle prop. I really feel like every Super Bowl, the last several years, you've hit that prop. So do it again. Jump on board with that, people.
Thanks. But by the way, not to mention I had Philly in the over last year too. But now we're going to go miscellaneous. Anything we want to do. There's a bunch still out there. Still, there's come. I'm sure in the week to come, that just all over the place. But Dave, what's your miscellaneous? What do you like that's really caught your eye?
Okay, I'm going to be taking. We talked about the quarterback strung for 15 yards in each quarter. Harry, I'm going to be taking JSN and Diggs, one member of each team, to have 25 plus receiving yards in each half at plus 650. We know that what JSN can do here for Seattle's probably had the best year of any receiver in the league. Has been awesome in the playoffs as well. Terrific hands, goes deep, goes short, goes across the middle, does a little bit of everything. And I really like Diggs in this game too to be a major factor because of the type of defense Seattle plays. They play really probably more zone coverage than anybody else. And what does Diggs do pretty well? He can find those areas in the zone to catch the ball as the veteran receiver that he is. So at plus 650, I think this will be another fun one to roll with.
When you guys sent me your picks, and Brian, I'm curious to hear what you have to say about this. And I saw that, and I saw the price, Darren, at plus 650. It seems like great value. I mean, great value, because you're talking about now Diggs isn't leading the team in receptions. I understand that, but he's still been a veteran receiver who is still basically the heart and soul probably of that receiving core.
Absolutely.
And he's in the Super Bowl. He can get it done. He's had a lot of stuff go on in his career. Now it's here for him. So JSN, I don't think, that's just seems too easy. But then Diggs has got to still, but to get that in a half, both guys can do that in one catch.
That's how I'm looking at it. Correct.
650, Bri. You like that?
Yeah, it's not bad. Like Diggs, his over-under is what? It's like 42, 43 and a half. So if you think he could go over that pretty easily, then yeah, I mean, this is, like you were saying, it's more of a bet for Diggs, right? At that point.
Right. But I mean, if, like you said, if it's over-under is 42, 43, and to get 25, and I don't know, that plus 650 looks juicy, D. I like that's a good. I hope,
well, listen, he hasn't gone over 50 yards
no, he hasn't,
in four straight. But I just feel like the timing is right for him in this game. And like I said, I think a lot of it has to do with the coverage that Seattle plays and May being very comfortable, May not wanting to maybe make mistakes. Go to his main guy here that's going to step up with a pretty big time performance. And I think we probably all like a lot of the over props for Diggs anyway.
All right. Well, Brian is all over. It seems like Brian is all over Kenneth Walker III in this Super Bowl from what we've talked about on air, off air. So, Brian, you got another one here.
No, well, I want to do another quarterback prop. Can we do that?
Okay, sure.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You were going to let him.
You totally were. I don't think there was any left. But yeah, I do. There's a couple things. I think the last time I gave out over 2.5 receptions, I'm going to take the under 73.5 rushing yards. I won this prop last week against the Rams. He had the low 60s, even though he's in the 40s for most of that game. But this Pats run defense, though, especially in these first 3 games. Look, I know who they're facing, right? Obviously against Denver, they're keying on the run game for sure. So there's not a lot they had to do there, but their run defense has been really good. I just like 73.5 rushing yards in the Super Bowl. For me, it just seems like a lot. And this number is starting to trend down a little bit. So you'll see different markets. I mean, 73.5 is FanDuel. Some of the other ones are down to 71.5. So I would take 73.5 on the under for Walker.
Okay, that sounds good. And I'm going to go with since you did a plus 650 here, I'm going to do a little same game parlay. It pays plus 342, a 3-legger. Speaking of Walker, I'm going to go Walker anytime touchdown, 4 total TDs in the playoffs, and he scored in both. I'm going to go JSN over 6.5 receptions. Just seems like somehow, some way, he is always open. Always open. Had 10 versus the Rams, and he's had at least 7 receptions or more in 6 out of his last 8 games. So JSN over 6.5 receptions. And we take Diggs. We talked about Diggs a little bit too, D. Over 4.5 receptions. I think he's just the leader of this Pats receiving core. Had 5 versus Denver in that crappy weather. So to get 5 here, I think, in a game that just means so much, he'll be able to get that done. And that 3-leg parlay pays plus 342. Well, listen, guys, that's it for the props for right now. And look, I think that's it, guys. Look, we've got one more podcast before the Super Bowl. Before Super Bowl 60, we're going to do that speed round of picks. Again, I'm just going to rip off prop bets to you guys, 13 each. You got 2 seconds to answer whatever you want to do. We'll keep track of it. I'll keep track of all the numbers on that. We're also going to give our side pick, obviously, who we like for the Super Bowl, the over-under, first touchdown picks, and MVP picks too. And also, we've got to. I've had a couple text exchanges with Joel lately, but I've asked him a couple. I told Brian before the pod started that I've asked Joel 3 times now, when is he coming back from India? And he hasn't answered me. So I don't know.
Guys having a blast.
I don't know how much longer I'll be in this position of hosting the pod, but it's been fun. It's been great. And I don't know, but I promise the next podcast, we will have an update on Joel and we'll figure out what's going on. But anything else you guys got to say? Anything special? Anything you want to mention, D?
No, let's go. We got 1 week here to celebrate the Super Bowl. And then it's like, it's like just dealing with no football on this Sunday. This past Sunday was hard to take. We got to enjoy this one. Let's just enjoy it. And then we'll take the rest of the year as it comes.
That's it. So for Mikey Meatballs, for Joel, wherever he's at exactly, Brian, Darren, me, listen, everybody, enjoy. We'll have one more podcast coming up this week. We'll bang out a bunch more props. And I believe if my number is correct, we're now at 21 props. We've got 39 to go. So we'll go through it. And everybody, enjoy the week, and we'll be back with you later in the week. Take care, everyone. See ya.